And we are live on another edition of All In on High School Sports. Kurt Valenti, Jennifer Valenti, how are you?
I'm well. Good evening. How are you?
I'm very good. Got a lot going on tonight in the high school sports world. Got a lot going on in all kinds of sports worlds. Little MLB playoffs, little football in action, some basketballs getting set. But tonight, high school sports take center stage on this show.
Yes,
What do we got
100%.
going on
Well, you
tonight?
know what? Tonight we have, let me just throw up our agenda here really quickly. We have a packed agenda tonight. We're really excited to welcome back to the program Coach Brian O'Connor from Mount Olive Football. He will be joined by his junior captain, Tyler Cumming. Then we will have a chat with Krista Lilienthal, a junior field hockey player out of Pompton Lakes High School. And we'll round out our guests this evening with Landon DePrima, quarterback of Ramapo football. So really excited to have everybody join us tonight. And really quickly, before we get into, bringing in our guests who are ready to go, I'm just going to throw up those week 5 results there. Want to give a shout out, thank you to Beckton and Glenrock. We did do our pregame on Friday night. Unfortunately, the weather forced us to do it from home, but we really want to thank Coach Marr and his players, Coach Kurz and his players for taking the time to, talk with us ahead of the game. It was really fun to chat with them and hear their thoughts ahead of the game, but we apologize we couldn't be there live. So,
And we will make it up to them.
100%.
We will make it up to them.
Just a little bit about our upcoming shows as well. Our Wednesday K&K, you and your K&K crew have your Wednesday collegiate and professional sports, followed by your wits and wagers on Thursday. And our all in on high school sports, we have St. Mary's is going to be airing tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and we're looking to do Beckton on Thursday again, still in the works for Kearney and West Essex this week. And it looks like we're going to be adding, exciting news, Paramus Catholic, all in on Paramus Catholic sports. So if you have, somebody at your school whose interests, our student interns are hosting the shows, it's really fun to, get them to do it and work and cover more teams and more athletes. That's really what it's all about.
It singles out that school. Angela Lee is checking in.
All right, very nice.
But yeah, it gives it more on our Tuesday show. We can't cover every school every week. And so we can't cover that every week. So, just
expands our coverage.
Yeah. So it's awesome. There's Mr. Kirkpatrick. Good evening, Jen and Kurt and the All In on High School family. What's up, Mr. Kirkpatrick? We'll get Mr. Kirkpatrick's picks in a little bit.
Before we bring in our 2 guests, because they are ready to go, we have our 3 usual week 5 quick hitters. Right?
Okay.
You want to do those?
Yeah,
really
let's do
quickly?
Real quick. We're going back to last week, Jen.
Yep.
Give me your surprise last week.
I got a good one and I got a bad one.
Okay.
I hate to use the word bad, but my good one is St. Mary's, right? I had picked Woodridge, but I was quoting that St. Mary's was maybe still 1 year away from them, but they really came through on that game got moved to Saturday. Oh, it was Saturday, but a little later Saturday, right? And my other surprise, I don't want to call it disappointment because that's my next one was Pompton Lakes in a little lopsided loss.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I have 2 surprises. I'm going to go Glenrock, just because, the team always Glenrock was. They were always a throw the ball around, more physical. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the weather would help Beckton with the more physical team, but hey, Glenrock showed up. I'm going to say Glenrock number 1 and number 2, Weehawken, just because they put up 60 against Pagoda. They were 2 undefeated teams in that division, and Weehawken put up 60. So my surprises are Glenrock and Weehawken. Give me a disappointment.
Going with Hanover Park, just failing to put any points on the board against Caldwell. Listen, it could be a credit to just the dominance of Caldwell once again, because Hanover Park, is a really good program. They were 2 undefeated teams going into that. And again, it could be more of a credit to Caldwell's defense, but I was expecting them to at least get some points on the board.
I'm going to take Northern Highlands.
Okay.
And just because if you said to me you're going to have a 21-point lead with your defense, and just the second half just totally outplayed by Ramapo, we're going to have Landon DePrima on tonight with us, but just a little disappointed. I have not seen that from Northern Highlands, so I'm going to say Northern Highlands. And give me your team of the week.
ironically, your disappointment was Northern Highlands. My team of the week is Ramapo. You want to talk about Northern Highlands squandering a 21-point lead? I'm going to talk about Ramapo coming back from a 21-point deficit to win that game.
Okay. And mine's Del Barton. Just, Del Barton, we're always putting Del Barton with the big 4 or 5, whatever, in the north, and they just put it on PC. PC has scored tons of points this year, and Del Barton shut them out. So first time really PC has been stopped defensively. So I want to give a shout out to Del Barton. A couple of comments coming in. There's Mark. Good evening, Jen and Kurt. Fairlawn is on the docket tonight for the picks.
Yes, they are.
Kenny saying, be careful of spam, Jen and Kurt. So a couple comments coming in. So
all right. Let's get our guests in here. Let's get in. Let me actually really quickly get out this so that we can get in our guests here. I'm going to bring in Coach. And then I'm going to bring in Tyler as well. Let's get them in here. All right. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us. Let me officially introduce you guys to our audience. We are joined by Coach O'Connor. This season is Coach O'Connor, if I'm not mistaken, your 8th season at the head of the program. His team is currently 5-1 and competes in the Liberty White division of the Super Football Conference. He is joined tonight by junior captain Tyler Cummings. Tyler is a running back and outside linebacker for the Marauders, and he currently leads the team in rushing yards with 573 yards in 6 contests. Again, hi, guys, and welcome.
How you doing? Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Coach and Tyler, like Jen said, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Unbelievable start to the season so far. So, Coach, I'll start with you. 1-9 to 5-1 so far. How and why this turnaround in the beginning of the season this year?
Well, I mean, last year was kind of what we like to say an anomaly. We were just very young, very inexperienced. So those players got a lot of experience, obviously, going into the season. And we played a brutally tough schedule last year. If you look at all 9 teams actually made the playoff. I don't think there's another public school that had a schedule like that. 9 teams making the playoff. So combination of the schedule, the young players, the inexperience, and the injuries really hampered us last year. But, the light at the end of the tunnel was kind of the coaches knew coming forward, all that experience, which should pay off for us this year, and it has so far. And that's been the biggest difference. All that experience we got last year, all that depth, and we have great leadership this year. I think the kids, a senior class, it's a small senior class, but they bonded really well, and I think they're a tight-knit group. All the 10th, 11th, and the 12th graders. I think they're really all in together, and they've kind of bought into the whole program, and they're playing really well.
That's great, Coach. Tyler, I'm going to come to you. As a running back, you've already surpassed your total yardage from your sophomore season. My first question to you is, how were you able to make such growth from one season to the next?
Visually, from last year, I think looking at what I did wrong and learning from my mistakes and how we did as a team going 1-9, I kind of had to take an account for what I was doing wrong and put in the work in this offseason. The offseason was – we had to make this year like personal. We can't go 1-9 again. Our seniors definitely just didn't want to go 1-9 and have a bad record. So all off season, we made it personal and we did everything we could and put in the work.
Nice. And another change for you this year is your role as a captain, right? So leadership wise, as a captain, how do you set an example for your teammates both on and off the field?
On the field, I think it's effort. A lot of effort goes into practice, and we just can't be dragging. During practice, we don't want to. There's the saying, "Practice like you play," and I really believe in it. And I think practicing like we play, what helps us win games. And off the field, I think it's a big aspect in school, making sure everyone's doing the right thing in school and school first over sports. And I think that we just need to do the right thing and show leadership.
Nice. Very nice. And Coach, I'm going to come back to you this time, including Tyler, of course. Can you highlight some of the players that are having an impact on your squad this season?
Oh, yeah. Our line up front is helping me move the ball. We got Richie Venata, number 77, Ada Lynch, 67 on our end. We got 73 on our right tackle, who's a sophomore this year, and he did get pulled up last year too. We have a lot of wide receivers too. Our receivers help us get that depth to push us into the red zone. I think Jack Mullery, Lincoln Huge, Decory Zapata, Rondell, Derek, they're all big impacts to our team and helping us move the ball and put the ball in the end zone.
Nice. How about you, Coach? Anything to add to that?
No, I think he pretty much
He
covered
was
everyone
good.
right there.
That was awesome.
But yeah, I think, we definitely have a lot of depth. I think we going into the season, we felt like we had some really good skill players. We have a good offensive line, an experienced line. And, on a normal game when things are going our way, we can really spread the ball around, run, pass, different people. So that's been the biggest asset.
Nice.
Tyler, I'm going to come back to you. And if anyone watching or who watches this hasn't seen you, please check out highlights. I mean, you are a physical runner, man. You're just unbelievable. You're a tough-nosed player. And, I guess my question is, it's going to start getting colder. Like Coach said, throwing it around, you guys can do both. You have great balance. But it always comes down to, they say, is who can run the ball. So, how important is it for you to be able to run the ball? Not just now, but come later on in big games going into the postseason?
Running the ball is very important because the first downs are what is crucial to keeping the drives going. I think if we can run the ball well, you may not get 40, 50 yards every single play, but those short yards do help, and it's more than we notice. I think the passing, those short key routes really help us too, and it'll catch them off guard, and the run will be there every once in a while, and those short runs do have an impact. It's just more than you notice.
Okay, Coach, I'm going to come back to you. And you mentioned about last year, a lot of close games, and this year, you're in a lot of close games. And like you're saying, you have a great schedule, a tough schedule. So, what would you say is the biggest factor for you guys winning these close games?
I think one, the experience. I mean, like I said, I think we had 14 sophomores get varsity letters last year. So the sophomores are now juniors, all that experience that they gained playing that schedule, and the depth that we have, and just honestly the leadership. They've been working hard all summer long with the 7-on-7s and everything. But I just think it's a tight-knit group, and they've been working hard and doing everything that the coaches have been asking. And it's really just been coming together for us.
And I'm going to come back to Tyler on this one. Tyler, let's look ahead to your next game against Sparta. What do you guys need to do, both offensively and defensively, to be successful against the Spartans?
I think offensively, once again, I think running the ball is very important as a team. Running the ball it's very important. I think offensively, our line just needs to hammer it up front, and if we can move that ball downfield, we can put some points on the board. Defensively, we've been very lights out in a lot of games. We don't let up points very easily. So if our defense just continues to keep doing what they're doing and plays lights out defense and 4 and out, and we'll be good to go.
Nice.
Coach, I got one more for you. And again, it's looking ahead a little bit, but your playoff bracket is that bracket is just, from 1 through whatever, it's loaded. What's your thoughts on that playoff bracket?
Well, I mean, every year I think Group 4 has been very deep and had some very talented teams. I mean, look who won it last year and who's been in the finals and stuff. But it's not going to be an easy run. And if you win Group 4, I mean, that says a lot. So that's why we really want to try to finish out this regular season strong. And if we can stay healthy and finish off the season at 8-1, that's our ultimate goal right now. That should put us at a 1 or 2 seed, depending on what side we're at, and that'll help a little bit. But yeah, it's a very difficult and physical bracket to be in.
Jen, I got one more for Coach. I want to go off script. Can you talk a little bit about, Coach, the support from your school and someone who hasn't seen like a home Mount Olive game, just like your fans, your parents and stuff, like what's the atmosphere at a home game for you guys?
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, even my first year here, we were rebuilding, we were struggling. One of the things I noticed was the fan support. I think it's a place to go on a Friday night. It's something that all the students were behind. Even this past weekend, they were crazy. They were super supportive, and I think they're all into it, and that's great. We have an awesome stadium, awesome facilities there, and I just think it's a place to go on a Friday night. They love to come and watch and support us, and in the administration as well. You see all the administrators at the games, and they're watching not just because they want to be there to see if anyone's misbehaving. They want to be there because they're enjoying coming to watch and being a part of the environment and support these players, because there's some really good kids that are, doing the right thing, not just on the field and off, and they want to show their support. So it's really been a supportive community is the best way to describe it all around.
That's awesome. And I actually want to kind of follow up, Tyler, from a perspective like in school. I feel like when your football season is going well, like the whole school is excited. Do you like sense it in school as well from your, fellow students?
Yeah, you can definitely tell. Last year it was a little different, but this year we turned it around, and you can definitely tell that teachers are becoming more involved too with like the team morale, and they're interested in how we're doing this season, and they all want to know. They want to know when the next game is and when they can come to it, and they're excited to be there. So I think all around our school is getting more involved this year when we win more, obviously. But yeah, that's all.
Nice to have that support. That's awesome. Before we let you guys go, we're going to do a little something. Coach, you're used to this. You're, I think, a 3-time now guest on our show between football and flag football, which is awesome. A little rapid fire for you guys, some more quick pace. I always say that, but then they don't turn out to be
No, because we always add more. Coach, I'll start with you. Favorite NFL football team?
Giants. It's tough this year.
Yeah. How do I even have a follow? All right. Right now, if you could, would you get out of the Daniel Jones $40 million deal?
No, I don't blame it all on him, especially being a former line. You got to watch. It's a whole. Hey, listen, football's a team sport, and you look at that line right now, the way they're struggling, and I think they need to give him some more help. So I still think he can do it.
Okay. Coach, I'm going to interrupt for a second. Kurt asked that follow-up question to every Giants fan.
I do.
And I got to say, nobody has like blamed Daniel Jones. I think he's looking to get somebody to blame him. But he's
It's early. It's still only week 4. Tyler, how about you? Favorite NFL football team?
It's not much better, but it's the New York Jets.
Ooh, well, you guys are going to play a couple weeks. And
yeah.
Are you a true believer in Zach Wilson?
Yeah, I don't think he's young. He's young to the NFL. I think his O-line, again, is not very good either. But he wasn't really making his reads very well in the first games. But I think he was very nervous coming into that game. But I do believe in them because their Jets' defense is very locked down.
They are, except for this week when they play my Broncos. But then other than that, we'll let it go.
All right.
My first question for you guys is your Super Bowl champion prediction. Coach, who do you think is going to win it this year?
I mean, right now, early in the year, I would actually go with San Francisco. I mean, the way their defense is playing, their offense, they can run, they can throw, and Shanahan is just so, dynamic with what he does with his offense. It's very difficult to game plan against. So early on, I would say San Francisco.
And you know what, Coach? McCaffrey should be very high in that MVP voting this year. He's
my fantasy back, and he's getting me a lot of points.
I have him in one league, and I had against him in last week. So you realize I won one and lost one, but that's that.
How about you, Tyler? You're Super.
I had the same thing going. San Francisco 49ers. They're solid this year.
All
right, Coach. And then Tyler, same question for you, but Coach, obviously, I want you to throw another coach to me. Give me an NFL coach that you would say you have some kind of similarities to in your coaching style.
Oh, wow. Okay, current NFL coach.
Yeah. I mean, you can go retired coach if you want, but somebody you think you have a little similarity, with.
Well, I mean, retired coach, I would always say my former college coach, who was a former Giants, was Coach Coughlin, because obviously he was a big impact on me. So that was always someone that was a big impact and affected me in a positive way. But I guess maybe I'm a little more, if I'm going to stay local, more like Sala. I think I can relate to the players well. I'm more of a player's coach, I think. But at the same time, when it's time to button it up, I think the players know when it's time to get to business, and I can get that across to them.
Okay, Tyler, what about you as an NFL player? Any similarities you think you see yourself in?
Are we talking old or new?
It could be either.
There's one that I really like watching. I enjoy watching Sanders. Sanders is one of the big guys that I enjoy watching. So I'd have to say him.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep.
I'm going to flip the script here. I'm going to go to food. So my parents are, live in Flanders. Longtime Essex County residents, though. If I need to recommend to them a good place to get a bagel, where should they go for a bagel? I feel like they've got some of the restaurants figured out, but what about a bagel? Coach, how about you?
Well, for me, it's convenience, and they've always been good to me. It's Flanders Bagels right over here off of 206. So that's my place for my Taylor ham and egg and cheese.
Nice. And how about you, Tyler?
Closer to me is Mount Olive Bagel. So we have Mount Olive Bagel and Flanders Bagel, but they're both good, and they both give good sandwiches.
Nice. Perfect.
We got a question from Kenny for Tyler. I don't want to put Tyler on the spot with a full impression, but give me a line or a phrase one phrase, like if I said, Coach O'Connor, give me something that he's always saying. What is one of them?
It's effort. That's his biggest one. It's effort. It's all about effort. That's his biggest line, is telling us it's effort, and if we don't do it now, we're not going to do it later.
Okay.
Nice.
Good.
Awesome. Coach and Tyler, thank you so much for joining us. It was really a pleasure to have you on, and wish you the best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Good luck, guys. Thank you for coming on.
Good night.
Thank you.
Take care.
Good night.
All right, and there we
Okay,
have
so
Coach
just
Tyler.
great,
Yeah.
1-9, like Coach says, football games, right? We talk about, but football games are like so, when you play with these close games, it's like one or two plays make a difference, and from 1-9, like now you flip that switch and it's 5-1. You see it on all kinds of levels: NFL, college, high school. So
we've been talking about it specifically the past couple of weeks, how like one play here or there can not only change the whole landscape of a game, but the landscape of a season.
It's true.
Yeah.
And now you win a close one, you win another close one. Now it's like you expect to do it, and then you wind up 5-1. So a great run so far. They still have a lot in front of them to do. So
well, our next guest is ready to go, so I'm going to bring her in.
Okay.
And then we will officially introduce her. We are joined by Krista Lilienthal. Hi, Krista. How are you? Oh, I don't think we can hear her. Is that the volume?
Yep, she is.
I was on mute.
There you go.
There we go. Awesome. Hey, Krista, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let me officially introduce you to our audience, and you might want to take a seat, everyone, because I got a bunch of accolades to read about our friend Krista here. Krista Lilienthal is currently a junior at Pompton Lakes High School. Her postseason honors last year as a sophomore included first team all conference, first team all county, first team all state group 1, and third team all state overall. This year, her team is off to an 8-1 start and is currently ranked number 11 in the state. Krista recently scored her 100th career goal. Her team is back-to-back Passaic County tournament champions, and she is a 3-sport athlete, earning varsity letters since her freshman year in field hockey, basketball, and softball. She is a Rutgers commit who will be continuing her field hockey and academics as a Scarlet Knight. Krista, congratulations on all of your accolades, and welcome to our show.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the kind words that I'm hearing right now.
That took Jen an hour tonight to do during dinner. So all your accolades. But no, thank you, Krista, so much for coming on. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
My first question is an easy one. When did you start playing field hockey, and what got you into field hockey?
Well, that one's an easy one. My mom has always coached field hockey for as long as I knew. So she really basically introduced me to the game. I think there's a picture in my house where I'm holding a stick in the high chair, but I started playing when I was around 6 or 7.
Krista, I'm going to throw up a picture right now. Please don't be mad at me. I got it off of your mom's Facebook page. And the funny thing is, I'm very good friends with your mom. And I remember these pictures from when you were this little. And I love these pictures because you were playing like with the older kids, right? And it just like you had a promise of, talent from that age. And I had to bring those up because as we were having you on the show, and I'm like, she was a little peanut when all those older kids, right? And I loved it. So I know you were interested very, very young. All right. I'm going to talk to you about your 100th career goal. I got a couple like fast questions for you on this one. Did you know you were at 99?
Yeah, I did. My teammates were hyping me up the whole time. It was like when I scored my 99th goal in that game, I remember I turned to one of my teammates and she was like, "That's 99." I was like, "Oh my gosh, don't tell me that."
So that's kind of my next question. Did you feel like that pressure? Did you kind of like just want to get past it so you could just like move on and not think about it?
There was a little bit of pressure just from myself. No one around me, but just for myself to really be like, okay, this has to be good. But then I realized I was like, it's not the 100th goal that matters. Like my dad told me this in the morning. He was like, it's not the 100th goal that matters. It's the 101st goal that matters.
Nice.
You need to like just keep going. But that game was so amazing. I didn't think my teammates were going to do anything. I was like, we're away. We're playing one of our rival schools. I don't even know if I'm going to get it. Like, this is just like another game. And when they ran out onto the field with the poster they had made for me, it's hanging in my room because it's one of my favorite things that has ever happened to me. Just having all my friendships like be so excited for me. That's one of my favorite parts of playing for Pompton Lakes.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's great.
And do you remember how you scored it?
I do. We were playing. I took a free hit outside of the 16-yard circle, and I used fast hands and stick work, and I ended up lifting the ball into the top of the cage, I believe.
Oh, nice. Exciting one. Nice.
Can you talk a little bit about some of your teammates who were instrumental in your great start so far this year with your record and your state ranking?
Oh, of course. There's so many names that come to mind when you ask that question, but I mean, the first two are definitely my captains. Morgan Hanna and Courtney DePrenda are the backbone behind everyone on the team. Morgan is just one of my best friends. She is always there when I need picking up and when I'm upset about something. And Courtney is literally like, she lights a fire everywhere she goes. And it's so awesome to be on a team with her. I get to play with her in 2 sports. She's a phenomenal softball player, and so is Morgan Hanna. But I mean, those two, and then our goalie, Bridget, I've known her since we were little. She is one of my favorite people. We're always there for each other on and off the field. She's a phenomenal goalkeeper. Maddie McConnell, she plays right mid next to me. She is the funniest person I know. And she always makes sure that I know that we're going to do all right. We're going to be all right. Her kindness really shows through when she plays, but she's also so tough and so like, just, I'm going to get it done and I'm going to do whatever you need me to do. Then of course, like so many people, oh my goodness. Sophia Tortoisell, one of our forwards that has been playing with me forever. She will do whatever you need to have whatever you need done. She'll do it. Erin Moyle, who plays in the back with us, she's phenomenal. She earned the goat of the game today at our game versus West Milford tonight. She played phenomenal. Then we have Franny Fusaro, who plays on the other side in the back. She's so awesome with her stepping up. We have a bunch of our forward line, Haley O'Reilly, who I've played with since I was 6. We have Julie Barbera. We have Liv Rentos. We have Lacey Fossoletos. We have Liv Trowbridge, who makes me laugh whenever she plays with me because her laughter is contagious. I feel like all of my teammates are people that I love being around, and that's something that I think Pompton Lakes is unique. Like, I love every single one of my teammates, and I love being there. Like, not just the field hockey part.
That's awesome because, we've had a lot of Pompton coaches on and we felt like that camaraderie, like amongst the coaches as well. So I'm sure it's like filtering down to the players. That's so nice to hear. Krista, we talked obviously about your goal scoring, but you also lead your team in assists. How important is it to you to not only be a scoring threat, but also be able to distribute the ball?
Well, I don't think it's a secret to anyone that I am so much more excited when everyone else puts the ball in the cage than when I do, because for myself, not that I don't like scoring goals, I do, but when my teammates score, I can't explain it. I become so excited for them. It's like something. It's like an out of body experience. I'm so excited. Like, you'll see me, I jump up and down, I hug them, I twirl them around in the air. And to be honest, I was always taught from a really young age by almost everyone who coached me, but most primarily my mom and my dad, that the goal doesn't happen without the assist. And I've always been taught that assists are one of the most important things that can happen in a game. And that's why if I ever score, I always turn to the person that started the play and I tell them it started because of you, because it's true. And it needs to be said more often, because without the assist, the goal doesn't get made, like I said before. And I think that's something that's really important to recognize.
And you know what, Krista, that's just an awesome mentality to have. I mean, you see it, and you know what, we're talking field hockey, but you see it with like NBA and football and with all these major sports and the people, especially like, I'm even going to say basketball, like the people who are still, hey, assists, it's not just points. I mean, it's what makes those people like the players they are, it really is. So it's great to hear you say that. My last one for you is, can you talk a little bit about your recruiting experience and why Rutgers?
Well, my mom was a saint. She helped me through the entire experience. She made it so much easier for me she drove me and took me all over the country to try and look for schools because she wanted me to find the perfect fit. And that's what Rutgers is for me. I have absolutely adored that school for a year and a half now. And I remember the first time I walked onto that campus, I felt like home. It felt like home. And I love those coaches so much. And the team just reminds me of Pompton Lakes in that camaraderie that we were talking about. And that to me is really important. And I also really wanted to go with Rutgers and ultimately did because of how close it is to my family. And I want to be able to come back and watch my sister Bree play field hockey at Pompton Lakes when I leave for college. And I want my parents to be able to come and see me play because I think it's important that your family is your backbone. They're the people that will be there for you when no one else will be. So I think it's really important that you have that great relationship that I have with my family, and I could not ask for a better support system, if I'm being honest.
Are you a football fan?
Uh,
well, let me ask you. Can you play football? I mean, it might have to help you. Might have to help Rutgers out over there a little. But
well,
let me ask you. In all seriousness, now they're in the big conference and stuff like that. So will you be like going to football games and basketball games and other stuff like that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's part of the mentality at Rutgers where everyone supports each other. All athletes and everyone who even doesn't participate in sports, we all support each other. That's something that's a lot like Pompton Lakes. I mean,
that's great.
After, like, for example, on my off day, we had practice for like half an hour. There was both a girls and boys soccer game. I know that so many people stayed for both the boys and girls game and then went to football afterward. And I love being there and supporting our team because I think it's just so exciting to like have like people from other sports that you didn't think you knew you be at your game.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, yeah, we can do this. Like, this is awesome. I in my opinion, I love going to other people's games because my best friend, she plays girls soccer. She's phenomenal, and I love watching her play, even though I have no idea how to play soccer. and I mean, that's hard. That's a hard thing for some of my family because my dad played soccer at URI when he was younger, and so when I couldn't do it, he was oh gosh, it hurt him a little bit.
Too funny, but it's so true. That's what high school athletics is all about. Obviously we work hard and we want to win, but like you just nailed it. It's really about representing your school and like supporting each other. So that's so great. And we just from having coaches and players on, we totally get that feel from Pompton as well. So nice to hear that you felt that at Rutgers. Krista, my question for you is kind of about your the personal goals, but more like team goals this season. You guys are back-to-back Passaic County champs, right? So I'm guessing you're hoping to do a three-peat for that. But what about the state tournament? You guys have sectional semifinal losses the past two seasons. Is the state tournament on your mind as well?
I think it always is, depending on how far you go in the state tournament. I mean, everyone has oh my God, they have to win this game, they have to win this game. I have taken it to, we're going to take it one game at a time, and we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep chugging along, and we're going to keep working just as hard as we were working at the beginning of the season. Our county championship last year, it's one of my favorite memories with my team. I mean, we played so well in that game. I'm so proud of everyone, and I'm so happy that we could all perform to the best of our ability for our coach, Ms. Brindisi, because I think that's so awesome that she showed everyone that she's an awesome coach, because she is. And the state sectional, It's definitely a daunting task. But I think if we keep working and we keep like, oh God, sorry. If we keep working, then we could definitely come out on top with a few more games, because I think what sets us apart is, like I said, the camaraderie between us, our team chemistry. I mean, I love all of them. Some people can't say that, and I love every one of my teammates.
That's awesome. All right, we're going to do, before we let you go, Krista, we've got some more like fast-paced questions for you. And we call it rapid fire. So Kurt's going to start us off.
Okay, two-parter. What is your favorite chore at home, and then your least favorite chore that you have to do at home?
I think my favorite chore would be, oh gosh, I really enjoy organizing my bookshelf. That's a weird one. I love to read, so I have so many books. But I like deep clean my room and like organizing all my stuff. I love that because I can just turn on music and like sort things and watch like rom-com movies. It's just a good time. But and then I share my least favorite chore with my dad. It's dusting. I don't like dusting.
That's awesome. As you mentioned, you come from an athletic family, right? Your mom was a collegiate athlete, your dad, your younger sister plays multiple sports as well. All right, so here's my question. You all line up on the end line. It's you, Bree, mom, dad. Who wins a race to the 50-yard line?
Well, my sister's a goalie. But I won't put it past her to grab me and be like, no. But I think I would win. I think I had a pretty good shot, but my dad give me a run for my money. Already be at the 25.
Okay, right now you're wearing a black Pompton Lake shirt, but you're only allowed going forward. You guys would just say you were only allowed to wear one color of school gear. Would you go red, black, white, or gray?
Ooh. I'm trying to think of all the pieces of gear I have. So that, because there's certain ones that are favorites and certain ones that aren't. I mean, I love this. It has pockets actually, which no one knows, but it has pockets. I love this sweatshirt. So I think I would have to go black. I wear a lot of black.
Nice. All right. Do you listen to music before games?
I do.
All right. So my question is, what's your favorite, like either song, like a go-to song, or like, is there an artist you like to listen to most?
I really cycle through a bunch of them. I mean, I love Taylor Swift. Don't get me wrong. Love her. But I also like going through people like The Score. They're a band that I love. They really have great hype up music. But a lot of the time we listen to like the playlist together on the bus. We the seniors create a playlist and we all listen to it before we go out on the field. I really enjoy hanging out with my team on the bus. It's really fun.
Awesome. Well, Krista, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was so nice to catch up with you, hear about your season, your career, and we wish you the best of luck this season. You have another season ahead of you. I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
So nice to have you.
Thank you so much, Krista.
Good luck.
Bye.
All right. What a mature,
Yeah.
well-rounded.
You could just hear
athlete.
like in the interview, and you know where and how much, you know, and I'm dead serious when I say about, you know, we listen to NBA players who, when they say, you know, assists are just as amount as points, you know, and those are the players that they're leaders, they're winners, you know, like they're not, you know, oh, this is all about me. And you know, she's so talented, but she's still showing how, you know, it's more important for her to get her team, you know, it's more important for her teammates to score a goal than her. And, you know, that's, it's just going to make her why she's a great player now and why she's even going to be better in the future.
Yeah, 100%. We don't have our next guest ready to go just yet. So why don't we start with our quick hitters for week 6 until, and then we'll bring him in. As
Little
soon
quick
as
hitter
here.
Picks. Okay, works.
I think I am up first, actually. Am I not with my quick hitters?
This is the hardest part, is trying to find who has what game here.
Exactly.
And I'm like, so low.
All right.
My notes are so small.
My first one is 3-3 West Morris at 3-3 West Essex. You know what? I know West Morris is strong. This week I got it. First of all, I'm a little, well, this is a quick hitter, so it doesn't really count towards our thing. So I'm going West Essex because of my Because it's my alma mater this week. I am.
I remember, I think this game cost me 2 years ago. We were tied in the picks. I don't remember who I picked. I don't remember. But anyway, both teams like to run it. But, I think West Essex at home in a low scoring game. I think the home field advantage, the home crowd, I think it's a little more important than West Essex. I'm going to take West Essex this week.
And your next one?
Again, I got to find it now. Number one. Kurt's number one. I'm going to go Woodridge and our good friend Coach Catrona at North Arlington. Woodridge won this first game 26-7 a couple of weeks ago. James Masucci, Antonio Loyola, they outduel North Arlington's quarterback Sean McGinn, who throws it around. I'm going Coach Catrona and Woodridge bounce back after a loss to St. Mary's. They go to 4-3.
Well, you just took the words right out of my mouth. I'm going bounce back for Woodridge in this one as well. My second one for our quick hitters is 0-5 Belleville at 0-6 Nutley. There's a couple teams that we talk about, the undefeated teams. There are some teams that are winless so far this season. So one of these teams is going to get that first win. I don't like to draw attention to that they're over, because it doesn't mean those kids aren't working hard at practice every day. So I really think both teams will be motivated here, but I think Nutley is going to get it done at home and get their first win.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Nutley's quarterback Chris Moorbutter makes a couple of big plays in this game, and I think Nutley in a close one. I'm going to take Nutley over Belleville also. Game number 2 for me, Jen, is undefeated Old Tappan, who is rolling this year. They go to Eastside. Eastside 3-3. Eastside lost after 2 big wins. They lost 31-0 31-0 to Ridgewood last week. They are led by quarterback Nigel Jennings, but Old Tappan, Jen, their defense only has given up 26 points all year. Alex Orecho and Nick Rossi, too much offensively here, Jen. I think Old Tappan, just a better team, goes to 6-0.
I agree. For the exact reasons. Again, I think they're just going to be a little too much. They're having a really strong season. I'm going Old Tappan as well. My third one is 2-3 Ridgewood at 1-5 Wayne Hills. Again, kind of hard to look next to these two names and see, records below 500. But I think Ridgewood overcomes Wayne Hills. I think Wayne Hills is struggling a little bit more this season, and Ridgewood evens out their record at 3-3 and with a victory at Wayne Hills.
Yeah, Wayne Hills only 1 year on the road. They lost 2 in a row. Ridgewood, though, I just think Ridgewood's too tough. They had a big win last week, like we just said. Their ground game's led by Colin Burns. Wayne Hills isn't going to be able to keep up in this. I'm going to take Ridgewood pretty big. Look at this. Kenny's saying Wayne Hills in the upset.
All right. Who'd you
my next
you're
one.
Up next, yep.
Oh, I got to come up with a different system. This is too hard to find what games I have here. Okay, number 3, I got Seton Hall Prep at Paramus Catholic. Seton Hall Prep lost a real close one last week to Red Bank Catholic. We don't know about Red Bank Catholic, right? We had Coach Campanelli and DePaul, and we know those games they always have and come playoff time. They have a huge weapon, Jen, in kicker, Jack Ketchpole. They also have a good running back, Michael Dunmore. PC obviously is led by Xavier Williams and Crew Cologne. This is a tough one for me. I'm going to take the road upset here. I've gone Paramus Catholic all year long, but close game here. I'm going to go with this kicker. I'm going to take Seton Hall Prep, Jen.
Oh, all right. Well, you know what's funny is
you're taking PC. We always switch this one up.
It's so funny. I have not taken PC all year long, and but I think at home, I know that they got, if I'm not mistaken, shut out by Del Barton last week.
Yes.
Right. And I just think that they're going to get back at it for a home game this week. So I'm picking Paramus Catholic. All right. My fourth one in a quick hitter is 4-0 Weehawken at 3-3 Elmwood Park. You mentioned in one of your, was it your team of the week? Was it one of your surprises? I can't remember which one, how they put up
surprises.
60,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I'm picking Weehawken in this one. Very impressed by their putting up so many points, against their other undefeated Bogota team. I think, Elmwood Park always plays Bogota close, but I'm going Weehawken on the road for this one.
Yeah, listen, Elmwood Park has to run it in this game. They have to run it with Jesse Stratch just to keep Weehawken's offense off the field. Jen, listen to this. Weehawken this year put up 32, 46, 44, and 60. Offense is led by Christian Ramirez and Emmanuel De La Hoyes. I love Coach Mulligan. Listen, this is going to be close because I think the crowds are going to come out. It's at Elmwood Park. They're going to play defense. I just think Weehawken's going to score a little more points. I mean, they're averaging, in the 40s. I don't know. I want to take EP, but I'm going to go with Weehawken in this one.
Okay, you're up next on yours. Quick hitter.
Who are you going on that?
I said Weehawken.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you on that one. Sorry about that. Again.
Finding your
it's impossible to find
top second column.
How did I forget this? Mr. Calderio is undefeated. Fairlawn Cutters going Hapakon 3-3. Hapakon, they want to run it with Ryan White and Kion Simpson, but Fairlawn's defense only giving up 9 points per game this year. Alexander Vargas and Nick Shanahan grind this out. Fairlawn and Mark Calderio 5-0. Fairlawn goes.
I agree. When you get your confidence rolling and you're, your team gets going. I have Fairlawn going to 5-0 as well. All right, my fifth one is 1-5 Lodi at 2-3 Cresskill. Lodi got their first win last weekend over Garfield. I think Cresskill is the better team here, so I'm going Cresskill.
Okay, Lodi, like you said, first win led by quarterback Evan Cole, had a nice game versus Garfield. Cresskill, though, some real close losses, Jen. Ryan Berkowitz is the difference in this game. I take Cresskill. My next one, I'm going to go winless Garfield at winless Secaucus. Both teams are winless, but Secaucus, Jen, has just been more competitive this year. Yeah. Secaucus run game, big plays from quarterback Marcus Goldsack. I think they get it done. Secaucus wins game number 1.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Like you said, Garfield's been struggling to put points on the board. I have Secaucus in this one as well. And
couple comments real quick, Kenny. PC gets the offense rolling in this one. Weehawken, but close, like I said. Cresskill, better than its record, big in this one.
All right, I have our last quick hitter is where did it go? I just found it and I don't know, now it disappeared on me. Okay, 0-5 Wallington at 1-4 Saddlebrook. I not really knowing too much about these teams. I know they're struggling to get wins this year, but I think Saddlebrook at home pulls it out.
Yeah, this game already has been played this year. Wallington, Derek Gill Polanco had 156 yards. Saddlebrook, Dylan Cerciello, 205 rushing. I think Saddlebrook gets him again, and Saddlebrook picks up win number 2.
All right, let's move into our official slate where we're picking. This is where the games count. Before we get to it, let me update us. Last week I did not have the totals, so let me get that for this week. I have to find the correct sheet with it on there. Our totals last week were Kenny came in at 6-9 on the week. Kurt and myself tied at 11-4. Kurt is in the lead by 3 games. He's at a total of 65-29. I'm at 62-32, and Kenny at 53-41.
Kenny's got a magic number for elimination already in week 6. How many games is Kenny back?
From you?
Yeah.
12.
Oh, 12. I can go on break. I might take a week off.
All right, so let's get into our week 6 picks here. Okay, our first one is we have Clifton at PCTI. Kenny is picking PCTI by a score of 27-14. Says PCTI is a little too much for Clifton. I agree, Kenny. I have PCTI as well. They're outscoring opponents by a margin of 145-35. That means they are letting up less than 6 points per game, and they have 2 shutouts. I'm going PCTI.
Yeah, we got the same notes almost tonight. Clifton last week ran for almost 300 yards last week behind Table, Strobel, and Wetherington, but they're not gonna just be able to say, okay, we're gonna run for 300 this week against this PCTI defense. Like you said, 35 points in 6 games. Trayshawn Dye breaks a few big ones here. Again, closer. I just don't think this is gonna be an ugly game. Clifton will always play this team close, but I'm gonna take PCTI.
Alrighty, and then in our next game we have 2-4 Wayne Valley at 3-1 Passaic Valley. Kenny's picking Wayne Valley by a score of 23-21. He says Wayne Valley will get the big upset. I'm picking Passaic Valley in this one at home, improving to 4-1.
Yeah, PV looking for 3 in a row behind Damian Cribbs. But Wayne Valley, we've been picking them all week, 2 in a row. Ran for almost 200 yards behind Nick Barone and Brian Blake. but this defense led by Zula and Immediato, they stopped Passaic Valley, Wayne Valley 3 in a row. Coach Cutlars gets this team to 3 in a row, gets them to 3-4 and thinking playoffs.
I like it. We got different picks there. I can close that gap. All right. Our next matchup is our guest this evening, Coach O'Connor, 5-1 Mount Olive at 1-4 Sparta. Kenny's picking Mount Olive by a score of 31-13. Mount Olive dominates this one. I agree. I think that Sparta, strong program, a little down this year. I think Mount Olive has the edge.
Yeah, Sparta got win number 1. But listen, like we just said, Mount Olive, you watch the highlights, Tyler Cummings, this offensive line, they're just, they spread you, they run you. They're just a very physical team. I think Mount Olive goes to 6-1.
All right, our next game is 4-1 Mawa at 2-4 Ramsey. Kenny's picking Ramsey by a score of 23-17. He's saying Ramsey with the upset at home. I agree, Kenny. I picked Ramsey in this one as well. And I think that Coach Bear gets those kids, continues to motivate those kids. And I think the at home is the difference here. I have Ramsey as well.
Yeah, Ramsey took a 7-6 lead after one over Westwood. And hey, respectable loss against Westwood. Westwood is a dynamite team. Mawa ran for 321 yards behind Duffy and McClannon last week. But again, I say his name every week, Luca Gemma. Both sides of the ball. He makes one more play. Ramsey beats Mawa.
Alrighty, our next matchup is 4-2 Northern Highlands at 3-2 Hackensack. Kenny is picking Highlands a big time bounce back by a score of 38-21. I just wouldn't want to be the next team on Northern Highlands schedule after last week. I think those kids went to work this week. That's a tough way to lose, huge rivalry. And I think they take it out on their next opponent, who happens to be Hackensack. I have Northern Highlands as well.
Yeah, Hackensack 100% having a nice season. They're going to try to run it behind Aiden Jones. And just like you said, though, Northern Highlands, they have a bitter pill in their mouth for blowing that lead versus Ramapo. Nate Johnson on the ground, Nate Johnson to Shane Hanlon through the air. It's going to be the Nate Johnson show there. And I think this defense shows up. They stop Jones, and Northern Highlands takes care of Hackensack.
All right, our next one is 4-2 Parsippany Hills at 5-1 Warren Hills. Kenny is picking Parsippany Hills by a score of 20-14, saying that Par Hills will win with their run game. I have Warren Hills in this one. This is hard for me. They're both 3-0 in the Liberty Blue division of the Super Football Conference, but I think what gives Warren Hills the edge, aside from just being at home, is their defense. So I'm going Warren Hills.
You definitely copied my
notes.
Oh my
God, I hate when you say that.
Our good friends, Joey Cicatelli, another 8 catches, touchdown, punt return last week. And Julio Tatis, 230. He only had 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. But the combination of Josh Lee, Dylan Daring, and a lights-out defense. I think the lights-out defense slows down the Par Hills offense just enough. Mm-hmm. They run it, play defense. Warren Hills in a close one.
Our next matchup is 3-2 Pascagoula Valley at 4-2 Montville. Kenny is picking Montville by a score of 22-17. When in doubt, go with hoops. Thanks, Kenny. I'm picking Montville as well. I just felt like I couldn't go against my Mustangs this week. I think this is going to be a close one, but I'm pulling Montville at home.
Yeah, PV's run game last week, Kevin Regula, 5 touchdowns. But Montville can run it too behind Mike Cholulo, Shaquem Hicks, and Anthony Feaster. I'm going Montville. Coach DeBontis at home in a big win. This is going to be a close game. I think physical game. Both teams are going to want to run it, but I'm taking Montville, Jen.
All right, our next one is undefeated 5-0 Ramapo at 1-4 Riverdale. Kenny has Ramapo by a score of 41-14. He's saying Ramapo's offense is just too much. I agree. I've got Ramapo. You know what? They just, from watching them now, just so many people who can do things on both sides of the ball. I was so impressed with their, never die, and just how many kids were getting things done on the field. So I'm going Ramapo.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you got Landon Prima to Charlie Wingfield to Zach Schnorbush, Brandon Delaval, run game with Rosano, McGurko. just forget it. I mean, this is, listen, this is a big rivalry too. They've played a lot of state playoff games, state sectional games. Coach DJ there does a nice job with Riverdale, but it's just too much to ask. Ramapo big.
Okay, our next one is 3-2 Beckton at 3-2 New Milford. Kenny is picking Beckton by a score of 23-15. He's saying they're going to get their bounce back win. I agree. They've actually had 2 tough losses, and I'm thinking those with that coaching staff they've capitalized on those losses, learned from those losses, and I think that they get back on track at New Milford.
Yeah, just like we talked, New Milford. Hey, two game win streak. Beckton two game lose streak. For New Milford, Jerry Ryan, running back, Jeremiah Davidson. It's a nice 1-2 punch. Again, Beckton lost 2 in a row after starting 3-0. We always say his name always on here too, Jonathan Palsy. Obviously, he's going to give it rushing. I think a little more throwing this week. He makes 1 or 2 big throws, and I'm going to take Beckton over New Milford in a very close competitive game, Jen.
Okay. Alrighty, our next one is 5-0 Rutherford at 3-2 Pompton Lakes. Kenny is picking Rutherford by a score of 35-20. Rutherford's pass game is too much. What's interesting with these NJEC matchups, right, is here we have the Colonial champ against the Meadowlands runner-up in the NJEC division. I always wonder, I'm picking Rutherford, but I always wonder if those like second place finishers gives them a little extra oomph to kind of get those first place finishers. And do you catch those champions of the division looking ahead to the actual playoff, right? When it comes, like that's already kind of been decided, but I'm going Rutherford.
Yeah, this was one of the ones I said you're going to like my comment tonight, right? Tracy Ann, Krista, Coach Lil, I love you guys, but let's talk next week, all right? Because you're not beating Rutherford. I mean, Chris Giola and Ryan Ward they're scary good. Rutherford, see you guys in the NJIC finals. This team is they're good, man. Listen, where are we saying Park Ridge? I think this team's setting the tone that they're the best in the NJIC. So I'm taking Rutherford.
Alrighty, our next matchup is 3-2 Glenrock at 4-1 Hawthorne. Kenny is picking Glenrock, score of 26-20. He's saying Glenrock with the mini upset on the road. This again is one of those NJAC ones. We have Hawthorne, the championship of the Meadowlands division, against the runner-up in the Colonial division, Glenrock, fresh off that Beckton win. But I'm going Hawthorne here. We will keep talking about their senior leadership. I'm going and experience. I'm going with Hawthorne.
Yeah, Jen, Glenrock, huge win over Beckton on the road, over 200 yards rushing by Nick Atme and our good friend who was on the show with us, Jack Hattersley. But Hawthorne, like you said, took care of business, beating Saddlebrook, securing the 4th spot in the NJSC playoffs. Tyler Menny and Cormac Smith offensively, and a tough defense in a low-scoring game. But I'm going with the senior-laden team, too. I'm going to take that experience. Very close game. Wouldn't be shocked one bit if Glenrock wins, but I'm going to take Hawthorne in a close game as they get ready to play Rutherford in the NJIC.
All right, our next one is 3-3 St. Mary's at 3-2 Hasbrook Heights. Kenny's picking St. Mary's by a score of 20-17. He's saying that St. Mary's is gaining momentum, and they'll continue so with the big road win. I wrote down something very similar, Kenny. They were one of my surprise. I don't think surprise is the right word, but I'm using surprise for them. Like I said, but I'm going to say the St. Mary's keeps rising. I'm picking St. Mary's in this game.
Yeah, Jen Heights won 2 in a row, led by Frankie Billingsley throwing it and Jake Summers running it, and a defense that they've given up 7 points total in 2 games. But they're playing a different offense this week. Nazir Owens again went nuts in a big, and we said it, what's the word? Game-changing win. They needed that game-changing win, and Coach Johnson got it over a very good coach team in Woodridge. St. Mary's Gale. So you got Nazir Owens, Brad Higgins also on the ground, in the air. And when he wants to throw it, you got Cunningham, you got White, you got Murkison, and you got this kid Hortez who came right off the bench. Boom, put him in 60 yards. Coach Johnson, I don't ask you for much, but this is damn Heights, Coach Johnson. You know me in Heights.
Oh my God.
Let's go. St. Mary's beats Heights. When you can beat Heights, you beat Heights. Let's go.
You know this game has nothing to do with you, right? Okay, just
Let's go.
All right,
It always does. When it's Heights, it always does.
4-1 Del
Right,
Barton
Kenny?
at 5-1 Pope John. We have Kenny picking Del Barton by a score of 34-24, saying don't sleep on Del Barton. I'm picking Del Barton as well. They blanked Paramus Catholic last week. They're number 4 in the non-public A power rankings. Pope John is number 8. I'm going Del Barton in this one.
Jen, Pope John puts up points. They have not scored less than 28 in a game this year behind quarterback Chris Dietrich. But Del Barton, in 2 weeks against Clifton and Paramus Catholic, okay, 89-7. Very impressive. Del Barton D, led by Dallas Hurley and Kyle Ketchio. I'm taking Del Barton on the road. They show they're for real again. There's Kenny. That's right. It's personal. Kenny saying winning last week for St. Mary's was good against Woodridge. It was huge.
All right. Our next matchup is 5-0 Park Ridge at 4-1 Waldwick. Kenny is picking Park Ridge by a score of 35-17. Park Ridge shows why they are the team to beat in the NJIC. I agree. Here we have again the Patriot Division champion in the NJIC with the Waldwick, the runner-up in the Liberty Division. I'm picking Park Ridge as well.
Waldwick coming off a tough loss to Lyndhurst, bounced back, got back on track behind the four-headed monster of Caserta, Hamilton, Schlero, and Fleming. But Park Ridge, I say it again, Tebow Light quarterback and Cole Hughes, and a defense led by Deron McLaughlin. Tough game. This might be, since Waldwick isn't going to the NJIC playoffs, hey, this is like their NJIC playoff game. But Park Ridge on the road, close game. They get it done. They get ready for Lyndhurst. They get ready to go compete in this NJIC playoff.
All right, and the last game we're choosing on our slate this week is 4-1 Butler at 4-1 Lyndhurst. We have Kenny choosing Lyndhurst by a score of 24-21, saying Lyndhurst wins what he's calling the game of the week. This is another one, right? We've got Lyndhurst, Liberty Division chance against the NJIC Butlers and the Patriot. I went back and forth over this one. Back and forth. And you know what? I know Lyndhurst had a tough game against Rutherford. I know that Butler impressed me with their performance against Park Ridge. I can't forget that a couple weeks ago.
They did.
Right? That was leaning me towards Butler. But you know what? Coach Toro is going to have his team fired up back at home. I'm going Lyndhurst.
Oh, no, he's definitely going to. I mean, like you said, Lyndhurst suffered first loss of the season. They gave up 440 yards of total offense to Rutherford. And they're going to have their hands full with quarterback Bobby Badapetti from Butler. I mean, this kid runs it. He throws it. He's a smaller kid, but he's exciting. I love my Lyndhurst guys. I'm taking Butler in a very high scoring game. I think Coach Ortieri puts up a lot of points in this game, but Butler put up a lot. I mean, I watched Butler versus St. Mary's, and Butler's doing. You can score on Butler, but Butler also puts up a lot of points. And I think Badapetti is the hope for my Lyndhurst friends. I'm wrong. I just think Badapetti is the difference, and I'm going to take Butler in a close game at Lyndhurst on Friday night.
All right, awesome.
And then Lyndhurst will get ready to play Park Ridge in the NJIC playoffs.
And there you have it. That is our picks for the week. Thank you again to Coach O'Connor and Tyler Cumming from Mount Olive Football for joining us tonight. Good luck to them. Thank you to Krista Lilienthal, Pompton Lakes Field Hockey, for joining us tonight. Best of luck to her and her team. And thank you, everyone, for watching.
We'll see you guys Friday night for a Friday night recap. And Kenny saying if Butler was home, I agree. There's Coach Breslin saying great show.
Thanks so much, Coach Breslin.
Have a good night.